Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 6, Episode 1 of Refresh Our Memory. August 7th, 2022. My heart is heavy this morning. I believe it's because I'm not accomplishing anything, or that's how I feel, like I'm not doing enough. But I will. Susie and I will. I did have a bad thought, and I did pray to God that He will watch over us and protect us all from evil. 11:08 a.m. I'm trying another way to show the pictures, but it doesn't work. 11:33 a.m. I try again, but in another way with the first 8 photos. It did not work either. I believe we will have to upload them or just talk about them until I can get a one-on-one in person. 12:25 p.m. I messaged Susie to check in with her, to let her know what I'm trying to do. I wrote, I'm practicing. It's not bad, but I've got to figure a way to make it better. I'm going now to get a corkboard, and I will practice and try to post the first 8 pictures. As soon as I get it, I will let you see it. I just want to let you know and have a good day. Susie wrote, all right, I can't wait to see it. I wrote, me neither, if it works. Keep your fingers crossed. A short time later, Madison, Zoe, Lily, and I went to the cemetery to visit Megan and Wyatt, brother and sister to the 3 girls. We went to the store before and bought new flowers. I also bought a corkboard. Well, not actually a corkboard. I couldn't find one, and with it being so close to kids going back to school, I figured I probably wouldn't. So I settled for a paper type board that a tack can be stuck in to hold. It is pink in color. We arrived at the cemetery at 2:38 p.m. We went to see Wyatt first. We put a bouquet of blue and white flowers on his headstone. I also put a sour apple sucker on his. And at 2:53 p.m. we went to visit Megan. We put her purple and white and maroon color flowers under the existing tree. Lily, the youngest sister, stuck the flowers in the ground. I stuck a sour apple sucker in the ground near her flowers. And yes, I did take pictures. And when we were done, I pulled out of the cemetery and drove home. And when I got here, I'm anxious to see if the idea Susie had would work. And I'm praying it does. 3:27 p.m. I start. I try, and I try again. I did delete the ones that weren't any good, and sometimes that would take a while to delete those files. I worked on it until 5:39 p.m. and at 5:50 p.m. I called Susie real fast to let her know it just is not going to work. We talked a short time. We were both cooking dinner. So she said, let me get done and I will look into what we can do and I will call you back. I said, all right, even if we can't find a way to upload the pictures, I can talk about or describe them in the story and we can fit it in somewhere. Susie said, right. I said, because this just does not look good. The last picture I did keep it so you can look at it when you get time, but it isn't any clearer. there's a black screen that pops up off and on, and my voice sounds like it's dragging. It sounds terrible, Susie. Susie said, "All right, I will take a look when I'm done after dinner." I said, "All right," and a few minutes later we hung up. The phone rang. It's Susie. I said, "Hello?" No one said anything. The phone disconnected. 7:06 p.m. the phone rang again. It's Susie, but still we were not connected. 7:06 p.m. the phone rang again. It's Rylan, my great nephew, Susie's grandson. He said, "I'm trying to upload the pictures." I said, "Oh, Rylan, you are an angel. I love you, baby, and thank you." He said, "Don't be mad at Nanny if you have to start over." I laughed a little and I said, "I'm not going to be mad at anyone." Susie then got on the phone and we talked about Rylan trying to upload the pictures to another app. Susie said, "Rylan and I are listening and watching the video of the pictures." I said, "Oh, you are?" Susie said, "Yes, he's trying hard to help you." I said, "Oh, Susie, give him a hug for me and tell him I love him and thank him." Susie said, "After we see what we can do, I will give you a call back." I said, "All right, and thank you both so much." And while waiting on the call back, I did try other ways, but nothing seemed to work. I am anxious to get started and to get it done. 9:01 p.m. Susie called. She said, "Okay, I don't think we are going to be able to upload the photos right now. I'm going to keep looking into it, but until I figure it all out, record." I said, "All right, I will." And I thought, maybe this is God's way of not showing the pictures until we are on one-on-one with someone or on a news station. I did mention that to Susie, and she said, "It could be." I said, "I will record, and as I get to the pictures, I will talk about them, and then at the end I can read the descriptions." Susie said, "All right, I have homework to do, and I will look into how to upload the pictures and how to edit after you talk. We will get this done. I'm not going to quit on you, sis, not at all. I'm in it for the long haul, and it may take us a while, but yes, we will get it." I said, "Susie, we don't have a while. I've got to get this out sooner than later." Susie said, "Oh, I know, and we will." I said, "I'm going to listen again to episode 1 to see what I can do differently and clear the mistakes in fumbling my words." Susie said, "All right, you record and get that done. Then we will find a way, even if we have to upload them on another app to release the pictures." I said, all right, good." We then hung up. 9:48 p.m. After we hung up, I re-listened to the episode 1. Yes, I agree my voice sounds good telling the story, but as I listened, I found 10 mistakes, and I don't like that. I then deleted episode 1 again. 10:58 p.m. I try again. I had about 54 minutes recorded, and it's not too bad this time. And then I start a new paragraph, and I accidentally called out the city's name, and I can't have that yet. So here we go again. I deleted it to start again. 11:58 p.m. I messed up. I deleted it. 12 o'clock a.m., August 8th, 2022. I hope to have a fresh start tomorrow. I know I can continue to record, so I will re-record until I finish, and we will upload the pictures at the end, or I will tell the descriptions to each picture, whatever we need to do. After I went to bed and woke up later in the morning hours, I'm feeling the same way I felt the past 2 mornings. I'm going to try to stay positive that I can get this done. And I'm looking at it as if there's a difficulty about putting something in this story or uploading the pictures, I'm going to look at it as if it's God. He must not want that in there yet. 10:47 a.m. Here I go again. I'm feeling unsure if what I am doing is the right way. I'm not sure why I'm feeling like this, but I know I will record this story. I will tell this story until I get it all out there. I know now for the second reminder. Read it just the way it is written. And this evening, after Susie is off work, she and I worked on the podcast. We named the podcast with a couple people's advice. We practiced recording, and my first try today, I got it. I do, though. I do one thing before each recording. I pray to God and my angels. I ask them, use my lips, my words, my mouth. Read the words through God to help me get it done. Susie and I worked on it to get the link correct. We then wait for the files to upload. Susie said, practice, practice, and practice some more. And what I don't get, Susie said she is there to help. And thank you, Susie, for all of it. August 9th, 2022. Okay, my morning seems to have gotten a little easier since my sister Susie is helping me with what else needs to be done. The first part, episode 1, is scheduled to air August 12th, 2022 at 8 o'clock p.m. We have the files playing 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And thank you, God. Thank you, Susie. And thank you, my angels. August 10th, 2022. First thing I said when my eyes opened, thank you, God. Thank you, my angels. And at 2:29 p.m., Madison and I went to the cemetery. We visit with Wyatt. I then pull around to visit Megan. And I did take pictures. I pray to both my angels. I ask Megan to keep giving me the signs, feeling the signs. I pull away to tell my angels we love them. Madison has things to do this afternoon, so when we got home, she left to do that. And I called Susie, and we are working on learning more and more about the podcast and learning the different links. And again, Susie, thank you. August 11th, 2022. I'm very grateful this morning came. As my day starts, I'm thinking, it seems as though I haven't been crying as much. I believe I am getting stronger. I need to be. This afternoon, I messaged a few friends and family members to let them know about the podcast and that it is ready. They all seem to be happy that it is, and I am too. And I know Susie is. And I want you all to know as you listen to this story, when I started this, I had no idea how to start. And now I have to try to upload pictures, and I don't even know how to lay it all out. How should I? Should I talk of just the events, times, and dates? Or should I talk of the whole timeline and just put it all out there? All of it. My feelings, my thoughts, my emotions. And I did ask a few people, and they all said the same thing. Say it how you have it written. And of course, I follow the guidance from Megan. I've gotten this far for some reason. This evening, Susie is wanting to try out a different recording app. She wants me to try recording on the app Audacity. I did try. I recorded it, and it does sound better. Then, shortly after, I felt a need to go lay down. Oh no, it just takes so much out of me. August 12th, 2022. Thank you. My day is hopeful. I'm going to try to be confident that the first episode sounds good to the public. I am nervous, but this is something you don't care what you sound like, or if you do look like a fool, because this is for one of mine. I will do whatever it takes to get Megan's story out there. She did not deserve this. She deserves to rest. And I did take a course on critics. And I don't know why I threw that out there, but we all know what critics are. The episode played this evening, and as the episode plays, people starts downloading, and I'm so grateful to see this. August 13th, 2022. Thank you for opening my eyes. Thank you, God. I start my day. Patty calls checking in. She gave Susie and I an idea of how to patent our idea. Patty said, get a postcard, an index card. Write your address as if you are sending yourself a letter. Then on the other side, write out what your idea is, write the date, and mail it to yourself. It's called the Poor Man Patent. Thank you, Patty. And we will do that and send them to ourselves. Patty said, Rick and I have been listening, and oh my gosh, my friend. She even complimented me by saying, it sounds good, Em. She said, I told Rick she has every detail, every word. Her emotions are all in it. She then said, Rick, this shit cannot be made up. Her and I cried. And after we hung up, I went to work on another recording of an episode. And working on the recordings is definitely keeping me busy and keeping my mind in a positive direction. And wow, what an awesome day. My podcast, Emily's podcast, tribute to all little angels. And there are now 9 different apps you can find the podcast on. I'm so proud of you, Susie. My podcast is also on iHeartRadio. It surprised us too. I thought it would take us longer to get it on there, but we are on there now, and we are happy about it. August 14th, 2022. I'm so thankful for this day. Thank you, God, for waking me up. 2:23 p.m. we went to the cemetery. I pull up to Wyatt, and I talked and prayed to him. I asked him to send the right person our way. I then pull around to visit Megan, And as you know, I took pictures. And of course, I talked and prayed to her. I asked her also to watch over all of us. And then, not long after, I left the cemetery and went home. Everyone have a good night. August 16th, 2022. I'm so emotional. I've been crying off and on all morning. I'm trying to clear my mind to not think so much. I'm feeling confused. My sugar is low. I can feel it. And I did take care of that. And I do pray I feel better. As the day moves on, I'm recording, and I did take breaks. The episodes are tough to get through at times. I'm emotional about it. My heart is broken. I was advised this afternoon to do one day at a time, then 2 days, then the rest. Then the rest of the days, do it slow. They say, and at times, just step away from it all for a little bit. And I do try that. 4:16 p.m. Madison is off work, so we went to the cemetery. Everything looks good. We didn't stay long. Then we left the cemetery, and on the drive home, a thought came to mind. Even though I haven't been crying as much at times, I do have my moments. I did pray. One day I will be able to move past this and believe there are good people still in this world. I hope. August 17th, 2022. Thank you for this day. I didn't do much. I needed a break. August 20th, 2022. It took me a while to get started today. It's wearing me thin. At 7:31 p.m., Madison and I went to the cemetery. You already know I took pictures. I'm recording today, and I'm trying to stay ahead with the episodes. I do try my hardest. I just hope and pray one day and every day that someone somewhere will help Megan, will help the rest of them. And thank you, God, for this day. August 21st, 2022. I'm excited about the podcast. I'm excited too for waking up this morning to get one step closer to Megan's story being told and heard. In this podcast, we updated where it stands now. We are still reaching out for help. And yes, so far, I know I've made some minor mistakes fumbling with my words and such, but I do get the important points made. So I am thankful for that. And thank you again, Madison, Susie, Patty, Jen, and Carla. And as you can see within the dates of the days, I had to step away. I had to take a break. I'm barely sleeping. I'm barely eating. And I need to eat whether I want to or not. Hang in there with me, please. August 25th, 2022. Thank God and my angels for waking me up. I start my day by cleaning and trying to get motivated to do anything. At 2:40 p.m., we went to the cemetery. I pull up to Wyatt. We visit with him for a little bit, and I pray to him and I tell him I love him. I turned and walked toward the car. Madison followed behind. I then pulled around to visit Megan, and of course I took pictures. I have to keep taking the pictures, and really, I'm glad I have. I tell Megan I love her, and I went to the car. I then leave the cemetery, and when I return home, I start to record again. In fact, I recorded and recorded until I couldn't record anymore. Have a good night. The next morning, August 26, 2022, I start my day recording. I end my day recording. The next 5 days, I did that exact same thing. August 31st, 2022. My eyes open. I look up and said thank you. I sat on the edge of the bed and thanked my angels, and I told them I loved them. I barely got out of bed, and at 8:15 a.m., I hear a knock at the door. I'm not sure who it could be. I opened the big door, and I kept the screen door locked. I said yes. The man looked at me, then looked away. I looked at him, and it's my brother John. They surprised me. They came to visit. My brother, his daughter Shelby, and Shelby's friend Rory. Oh my gosh, it's such a nice surprise. As they came in and then unpacked and got comfortable, we visit, and as we talked, Shelby, my niece, wanted to go to the cemetery. So we did. 3:07 p.m. we pull up to Megan's area. Shelby and Rory walked around the area of Babyland 6th West to see what they could notice or not notice. But as they stood here, Shelby points out to me how scattered the headstones in Babyland 6th West were. As she is taking pictures of the headstones further down, all in a row. Her and I talked about it. Shelby and Rory both had their input, and I'm quite happy they did. Because not just pointing out to me that the headstones in this area are scattered, but hang on, one more thing. Then we went to visit Wyatt. As we stood near him, Rory brought up the plot marker. There is one sitting near Wyatt. I said, I haven't seen one in Babyland 6 West area. And if there is one there, it will show in pictures. We did visit with Wyatt, and when we were done, we left Wyatt's area, and Rory wants to pull back over to Megan's area. So we did. Shelby and Rory gets out of the truck, and my brother John and I stayed in the truck. Shelby and Rory walked around the area to check things out from a couple of sets of different eyes to view. And a few minutes later, Rory walks towards the truck to say, Shelby wants you, and points at me. I got out of the truck. I walk over to where Shelby is standing and taking pictures, and she says, look. I looked, and in my mind I'm thinking, what the hell is it? It looks like a perfect round circle indent in the grass and dirt, and then a deep hole in the center of it. Shelby shows me the pictures she had taken. Now, there it is. It definitely looks like a plot marker indent in the grass with a hole in the middle, but no metal plot marker, just the indent of one. Shelby said, they may have put one in and then took it out. I said, well, I can almost bet there has not been anything like that there before. Her and I just stood there looking at each other in disbelief. We all then got back in the truck and left the cemetery. As Rory is driving out of the cemetery, I'm feeling, well, I already said in disbelief, but I am pissed. What are you pulling now? I'm thinking, wow. We get back to the house and I tried to enjoy the weekend while they are here. We did have a good time. And thank you, Rory, for bringing John, my brother, and Shelby down to visit. I love you all. September 3rd, 2022. Thank God for this morning. And as it moved on, I decided to go to the cemetery. 12:49 p.m. I pulled up and I went to take pictures of the indent mark shall be found. I then went to Wyatt to take pictures of the plot marker near his headstone. I also took a picture of the plot marker near a different headstone in Wyatt's area. I visited with Wyatt and I asked him to show me the way. I left his area and went back over to Megan's area because I wanted to see this time if the indent marks in the grass matches to the plot marker pictures I just took in different locations. And oh my gosh, it left me speechless. It even matches the hole in the middle of the perfect round circle. I even put my finger in the hole in the center to make sure that's what it was. I just can't believe it. Low. It is low. I took pictures of the headstone to the north of Babyland 6 West and to the south. The headstones on both sides of this area are. They are neatly in a row. But Babyland 6 West headstones are scattered. I'm just so disappointed. Are you people serious? Oh, and after leaving the cemetery, I arrived home, and as I sit, I'm thinking, and I thought, you know, a few weeks before Labor Day, I remember having a feeling, a premonition to go to the cemetery, but I waited until the next day to go. I walked around then, but I did not notice anything. Shelby came to visit and visited the cemetery, and she and Rory found it. I believe Shelby, my niece, was brought here to find that plot marker indent in the ground, because I can say I most likely would have never noticed it. I feel it in my heart. I know God brought Shelby here to find it. And thank you, Shelby Lynn and Rory. Later this evening, I did get to relax. Then I recorded another episode. So now, over time throughout all of this, Susie and I had talked of posting pictures and working on that goal. We have also talked of identifying a deceased person, name, date of birth, and death in the casket, so we know, you will know, anyone will know when you bury someone, where they are, and who is who. So this does not happen to anyone else. I then heard in Megan's casket, but I was not aware they have or do not have an identity number in the caskets of the person deceased. And if I would have known that, it could have been easily resolved then. And if it doesn't exist anymore, or is not enforced of the identity to the deceased, we are working to make that happen so we can get our story out. So please, please, so this does not happen to anyone else. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.